about getting production from everybody in the lineup. It seems like it's been a different guy almost every game. How much does that give confidence to somebody like Jason's that's going to be stepping into a bigger role here moving forward?
Well, I think it adds an element. I mean, where it really is going to see it is like a month from now, or when Spikerman comes back. I mean, that's going to be the biggest difference when you see they've had some at-bats, they've had some growth in there, they've had some failure in there, and if we can give him the right place at the right time. I mean, it's just like, for an example, when we went to Omaha and Nicholas was playing off and on, and then all of a sudden he started really doing it, and we moved Horton from third to start pitching, and Wally came in there, and I think that's going to be the biggest difference. You'll see those guys kind of take over a new deal and have some confidence where they might not if they didn't get the at bats, if somebody didn't go down and whatnot.
On Tuesday night during the TV broadcast, they said that Carter wasn't available. What's his status moving forward?
Frederick,
yeah.
He's fine right now. We're gonna it's day to day and see how it goes tomorrow.
Just as far as West Virginia, obviously, really good team, really good players. Just as far as what you've seen from them so far this season,
they're really good. I mean, they have one of the best hitters. I don't know if he'll play or not. One of the best hitters, but their lineup is really deep. The right-handed pitcher is probably one of the better right-handed pitchers in our conference. I mean, I watched him today. He's really, really good. He relieved for him last year. He'll be anywhere between 94, 97, 3-pitch mix. He's probably one of the better starters we'll face this year.
Skip, talking to Braden just a little bit ago, how big has he been for this club coming in new guy this season?
I think it's been huge for us. I think he fit into what we do. You know, he's been a reliever most of his life, and he was a closer at Sam Houston. He kind of starting when he went to the Cape this summer, and that's why you're kind of seeing some of the growing pains through the early spring. He never really started before, and he's just now learning how to start, and he's got to continue to grow in that area. I think like his last outing was better than the outing before that, and who knows what. We just want him to be himself tomorrow. If he is himself, then that's good enough for us.
What is it about Jason Walk that he's been so prepared stepping into this, that he's just been, ready from the jump?
Probably the way we do our practices, every Wednesday we we do live BP, so he's had some at-bats. I think yesterday our live at-bats, some guys got 10 at-bats off. I mean, that's huge, man. They're getting actually more at-bats facing our own guys than they would in a game. So I think that's huge. I think that's one reason why. I also think he's a dynamic athlete. I think he's really good at what he does. He understands his role. The thing with Jason is he doesn't ever get too high or too low. He's kind of pretty even-keeled. He got 2 hits the other day. He had a home run actually in live ABs yesterday. And we'll see how it goes. And I know he'll compete. I know that.
Is that unusual for a freshman to be that prepared mentally to step in?
Yeah, usually. I mean, you more over time, Eddie. You tell that more over time as how if he goes to a little low,
sure.
and if he starts feeling sorry for himself, like the game wants you to do, and to see if he can bounce back out of that deal. I mean, all players. I remember Coach Garrido saying this a long time ago. He would say, you have a sophomore, you have a junior, you have a senior come back, and you have an expectation for them, right? You really can't have an expectation. You really think that they really know. The game is really what it tells you. The only expectation you can have out of that young man is really the effort that he gives. I mean, you can't expect him to all of a sudden be calm in a moment. Well, one thing that you can understand is the moments in the game that they've been in, not to fail in them. I mean, maybe not to fail in them, to be more calm and understand where they're at. Not that they're going to succeed or fail. They're going to be, probably more calm or not as rushed as much, and they might still fail, but yet their chances of being calm and really seeing the baseball or understanding throwing the ball to the target in that situation is better.
What have you seen out of the Witherspoon brothers so far this season? Seems like poised under pressure.
They're hard work. They do have like a professional demeanor when they take the mound. Like, they're really calm. I think Casson's more calm than Malachi. Malachi is more has more, not more energy. It seems like he lets it out a little bit more. But both of them really work extremely hard. I mean, if you came to our practice and you sit there and watch both of them, they'll be working on their deliveries just in sitting in the outfield. They'll be going like through their delivery in the outfield without a ball. And I think that's a key to who they are. Really, they work extremely hard. They're team guys too. They really fight for each other and they fight for the players on the team. It's what I've been really more pleased with that as much as I've been with the production. Usually when you get a guy from another state and from a junior college that's always been good, and then you bring them in here and they put them in a different role. I think those guys are going to be frontline starters next year. I do. I really believe that, Mark. And they might at the end of the year. We don't know that. I mean, when you start at the beginning of the year, you have the lineup, and it always changes by the time you get to the end of the year. So you never know.
When you were recruiting them, was it like you discovered one and then figured out, hey, we really like both, or did you find out kind of about both of them at the same time?
No, we kind of figured out both of them at the same time, and we brought them in on the visit, and the family's really dynamic. You know, his mother and their family's really, really good, and they can really eat a lot. It's pretty amazing.
Skip, I want to ask you about another transfer, Michael Snyder. What's the biggest thing you've seen in his development?
His calmness, you know, he adds a little bit of calmness, like a veteran type deal. I mean, he's brought some weird things that I've never really knew about in my life. I mean, I guess I'm 58 years old and don't really know what grounding is yet, or eating liver, you know, and stuff like that. So it's kind of been unique, but he's been really a pleasure to be around. Really good in the clubhouse. I knew that going into it because he played for a summer league coach. It's a really good friend of mine that told me that he was a really good clubhouse guy, and I really been pleasantly surprised that he is taken on the road. That it doesn't matter if he plays first, it doesn't matter if he plays third. He's been kind of selfless in that regard, and I think that's when you talk about a young man and you talk about somebody being selfless, I really think that's the separator in our program at times. You just got to be selfless because you know you got to care more about the other guy than you do about yourself, and I think that's what really makes us good at times. I think in 22 we were really good at that. Guys were they cared about each other more than they cared about themselves.